Hi, this is Sandy with Simply Blessed. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about zones. FlyLady Zones. What are the zones and what does it mean? Okay, the zones are when you divide up your house into different zones. Different parts of the house get different parts, get different attention and a more in-depth attention during that week. Okay, that you're in that zone. Okay, right now it is confession time. I have been doing FlyLady for 2.5 years, and I can honestly say I do not like zone work. I have never liked it. I would rather pack and move than clean a baseboard or clean out a vent or some. I just would rather paint. I would rather do anything, but I do not like to do zone work. But today I've decided that no more excuses. So what I decided to do, if you have seen my video on my control journal, this is my control journal, and it is broken down, and yes, I do have a section for zones, and I went ahead and pulled those pages out. These very neglected pages. I'm sorry, they're very, very neglected. So I have my zones. Here they are, all beautifully typed, all beautifully done, listed out in detail, and they just look fabulous. But guess what? I don't really like doing them. So what have I done? Barely done them. Barely done them. So I've decided that if this isn't working, then change my plan. Change it. If it's not working, change it. Find something that does work. Another fly baby, my husband, no one else in my life cares really how I do zone work. It is just important that I do at least some of it. Do I have to do every single thing on this list? No, I really, really don't. In order to be a good wife, a good mother, a good housekeeper, a good anything is not contingent upon whether I check all of these things off or not. Does my house deserve zone work attention? Yes, yes it does. So this is what I've decided to do. Before you start zone work, number one, the first thing that you need to do before you start zone work is you need to declutter your house. That is very, very important. Decluttering your house is more important than cleaning a baseboard, in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion, because it is hard to do zone work or do any kind of in-depth work until you have done that decluttering. So this is what I'm going to suggest. This is what I did last night. I thought, okay, if this isn't working, then what will work? Okay, maybe this will work. We'll see. We're going to give it a try. It may work, it may not. So this is what I've decided to do. I drew my house out on a piece of paper. And as you can tell, my house is not that big. I have 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and which is sometimes convenient and sometimes not. I have an office, which is really a bedroom turned into an office, a dining area, a little kitchen, breakfast nook, living room, porch right here, which all this right here is walkway and flowers, which is a really pretty area to look at out my kitchen window. And this is really basically it. But I still cannot seem to manage to get it done. I have already decluttered my house, but as any house goes, it needs to be continued to be decluttered. You just need to keep at it. It has to be done continually. So I would suggest for you to draw your house out. If you have checked out sink reflections and looked at the zone work, if you're doing zone work and it's working for you, then you just go, baby, go. But if you're confused about zone work, you can either make lists or you can try this. And we're going to be trying this together for the first time. Because for one thing, this is all one piece of paper. And I mentally already know that I need to wipe down walls, or at least we'll do them with the dust mop. I need to go over the corners, get the spider webs out of my corners, go over the baseboard, even if it's just with a dust mop. I need to move furniture around a little bit, put everything on pads so that I can easily move it around, at least wipe and sweep underneath it. I know that. I don't have to have a list to tell me to do that. I don't have to have a list on my kitchen that says clean out your fridge. I know that that is something that needs to be done. So what I went ahead and did is I made my own zones. I see on my FlyLady list a lot, I see people saying, what zone are we in? And really and truly, I don't think it matters as long as you're doing a couple of zone things every day. So what I did was I made my house into 4 different zones. The purple zone right here is the front porch, right here, the hallway all the way down, and the office. And we have a lot of shelving in the office. So this right here, starting at the front door, and also I go ahead and I sweep off the back porch as well. So this is zone number 1. So we're in week 1 of the month. Week 1, work on zone 1 that you have decided to be zone 1 in your house. Zone 2, I decided to be my utility kitchen and my breakfast nook. Okay, so we're going to go around in a circle like this in my house. And so these, I went ahead, this is a little bit more to declutter because there are a lot of cabinets and drawers and things like that in this area. So I went ahead and left it as its own little chunk, but that is zone 2. So week 2 of whatever month you're in, I'm going to focus on this. Zone 3 is right here in the green. It's going to be the bathroom. There's a lot to declutter in there. There's a lot of cabinets to go through. There's a lot of shelves to clean up. Not a lot, but more than any other room. So I can declutter one day and wipe and swipe as I go, as I declutter. Next is zone 4, and that's going to be the dining room and the living room and the bedrooms. Now these are not going to be hard because I don't have really that much furniture and I don't have very many drawers. And my husband's, his dresser drawers, I'm not allowed to touch. So I don't touch them. I'd let him declutter them, and every once in a while he does. So we're going to see, we're in week 1 of March, and what I'm going to do is just look at zone 1, and that day I'm going to choose 1 or 2 chores to do in that zone. Sweep, mop, declutter, whatever it is that I need to do. Now, if you have not decluttered your house, I suggest that you look at your zones, make out your zones, and in zone 1, week 1, declutter just in that area. Don't worry about cleaning it. You can wipe it down as you go. Don't worry about it being perfect. Pick out 15 things to donate, throw away, or to sell, or to whatever you need to do with those. Put those in baggies and get going in that zone. Week 2, do the next zone. Week 3, do the next zone. Declutter just in those zones. Set your timer for 15 minutes in each zone. Work on it, and if you don't get everything done in that zone, don't worry about it. It will be done next month. Then week 2, work on zone 2. And just declutter what you can. Decluttering gets easier and easier as you go. So what I'm hoping that, I'm going to put this up for me to look at. I'm not even going to put it inside my control journal. My AM and PM routine, I just do automatically now. I don't even think about it. I really don't have to check it off. I know that it's done. My hot spots, 15-minute run through throughout the day, those things are no-brainers to me. My house is on autopilot. It just does itself. I get up by 10 o'clock, I automatically start thinking, what am I going to do for supper? I look in the fridge and I see and I decide. But this is the one thing that I have not conquered. So I'm going to revamp it. And we'll see how this works, okay? All right, wish me luck. Let me know how you are doing zone work. Let me know what works for you so I can get some better ideas because I need to get going in this area. Okay, thank you for joining me today. It's Simply Blessed, and let's get going with zone work. All right, see you next time.